My name is Pete Morrill. I'm from Mountain Kennels. We breed and train Labrador Retrievers. Been doing that for about 25 years, and our whole emphasis is deepening canine connections. When you get your first puppy, you want to know, how am I going to be prepared for that puppy? I'm going to cover categories of things and then drill down in later videos in terms of specifics on those items. But the first category is our bedding category. As you can see, there's all kinds of options to bedding your dog down. You just want to think about, how am I going to keep my dog comfortable off of a cold surface? The second category is feeding. Feeding is going to be one of those things we advise dogfoodadvisor.com to determine what kind of food you're going to use and to have that food graded. They don't get paid by a dog food company, so they're independent and they're scientists. We use a dog food that's readily available. I like to put the dog food in a 5-gallon bucket because the puppy can't get in, knock it over, and I have less chance of spills. I also am going to think about a water bowl and a food bowl. The water bowl has got a wide base. I think that's easier for the puppy not to knock over. The food bowl, they don't generally knock it over, and if they do knock it over, I'm right there. They just clean it up. It's not a big deal. That all has to do with feeding. The next thing we're going to talk about is training. Whenever you're training your puppy, you want to be well organized. And I train a lot of trainers, and I say the most disorganized trainers makes for the most sloppy puppies. So I have a little training box. We're going to go into this in greater detail in another video, but in my training box I have a whistle, I have snacks, I have some things to get the dog's distraction or the dog's energy back up, I have a little training pouch, and I already said I have a whistle. So all of that has been covered, but we're going to go in greater detail in another video. There's different kinds of leashes. Just so you know, you don't have to spend a lot of money. This was bought at the dollar store. It's a $1 leash. Generally, you want your leash to be about a 6-foot leash, but I call these necktie leashes. So when I have my dog inside and it's a puppy, I almost always have a necktie leash on it because I don't want something that's going to get tangled up in the chairs underneath the dining room table. But the necktie leash is something that I can grab and I can give him a correction or tell him where I want him. We also want to think about collars. If you're getting a puppy from us, a Labrador Retriever puppy at about 8 weeks old, we'll take a 10 to 16-inch adjustable collar. That's what this is. It's just a cheap collar. You'll want to think about a different kind of leash as the dog matures. This is a leash that's got our name, our phone number, it's got the microchip ID, and it's got the 800 number for the microchip company, so that if the dog gets lost, it will get back to me. I'm going to put this collar on when the dog's about 8 to 10 weeks old and then train with that, and then we're going to have to get another size as this is a small collar. Okay? We also want to have things for the dog that's chewing. So you can choose all different kinds of things, but again, the dollar store, $1. You go to Petco, and that's a real expensive deal. Rawhide, same thing, just something for the dog to chew on, something for the dog to play with, and something for me to give the dog exercise. So this Chuck It is just something we get our dogs retrieving right away. Bouncy balls always keep a dog more interested in retrieving. When you use these things, you got to teach them to follow the ball, and then eventually you'll be able to throw it 50 yards and they'll have great exercise. I also like to have crates with me. I use crates in every function of my life, and this crate is for all this stuff because I don't want to chase it down throughout the day. I want to know where I'm going to put my dog's stuff so it's always there. This milk crate kind of does double purpose. Sometimes I take it when I'm training and I take some of their fun toys, but we also use this to confine a puppy in a large crate. So when you buy a crate, you have a choice. Do I get a large crate or do I get a small crate? So the crates come in 4 general sizes. There's a smaller crate, which is a 100. This is a 200. This is a 300. And this big one is a 400. What I suggest to people is if they get a crate that is going to be the size of their puppy when it's old. So this says 50 to 70 pounds. So that tells you right away, okay, that's a crate that's going to fit my dog when it's old. But the problem is, if you housebreak a dog in this crate, it will tend to sleep in this corner and poop or pee in this corner. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a milk carton in there, and see what that does is it confines the dog to the space it takes up, and it's less likely to soil. We're going to talk about all the different choices in crates in another video, so we're not going to cover that in greater detail here. So here are all the things that you need to get set up for your new puppy in your new home. All right, thank you.